Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Time Added On. My name is Alfredo Fumacic.
And I'm Cristiano Oliveira.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Of course, the world has turned upside down since last time we were here in front of you. We're finally in the same place and doing this for you.
The one thing you can always count on is Alfredo and I talking about Benfica. And here we are for another episode of Time Added On.
That's right. Time Added On. 5 topics, 2 minutes each.
In case you forgot.
That's
Gotta
right.
go over the rules because it's been a while.
Everything that's hot in Benfica land.
Yes, sir. Bora.
JJ's arrival. Cristiano, I know that JJ was one of your favorites to take on a job. I had mixed feelings about him.
Well, Alfredo, as you know, and most of you guys listen to this and the regular listeners of Benfica podcast, I never thought he should have left way back in what seems like 20 years ago now. So I'm ecstatic as ever that he's back. You know, this is the type of coach who demands Benfica wins every game, demands that Benfica puts their best foot forward every single week. And so, I'm ecstatic. I know we've had some hiccups along the way, but I think in time, this is the right coach to head us to lead us to the promised land, I should say, and I could not be happier.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt in my mind that what JJ brings, I think everybody knows what JJ brings, right? So it's quality, it's the whole compressor. I don't think anybody doubts that. There were some hurt feelings in terms of how we left. Obviously, he was pushed out, as everybody knows. The words that were exchanged, the insults that went back and forth, so on and so forth. We have reached a point that, with the investment, with the Seychelles, we need somebody to bring us wins. We need somebody to put us back into Europe. When he left, we were 5th ranked in Europe. We're probably in the 20s now. So we're hoping to get back on there, and certainly JJ, and we've already seen this early in the season what he could bring and what he could add to this team.
Look, I know some people aren't happy, but at the end of the day, just remember one thing. JJ is always going to have this team ready to compete at all levels. I know we've had some hiccups, as I mentioned before, and we'll get to them here on the show. We know that the little games from up top, if you know what I mean, those games are over because he's the one that runs his locker room. So in that aspect, I'm ecstatic, and I can't wait to see what's ahead of us.
Yeah, JJ's arrival also coincided with us going out of the Champions League, right? So we had to play PAOK and one of 2 qualifying matchups to get into Champions League, and everybody thought that it was going to be easy, right? After all, PAOK isn't at the stature of Benfica, but one game elimination round with us having to travel to Greece turned out to be somewhat of a crapshoot almost, right? So we didn't get the result that we needed. We ended up going to the Europa League, but certainly, Chris, the biggest thing here is the 40 million that you give up after the big investment that you made in terms of players.
Man, I don't know about you, Alfredo, but I was absolutely gutted when Benfica lost that game, that decision 2-1 to PAOK. On that Tuesday evening, I was literally in tears because, as you guys know, I'm a huge JJ fan, and then he comes in his very first opportunity. We have such a huge slip up. And then to top it all off, Zivkovic gets the clincher, the goal that ultimately led to our demise. It was a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I couldn't get that out. Sorry. It was a bitter pill to swallow, and it's something that, to be honest with you, it's still stuck in my throat. I don't think I've swallowed it yet. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to get over this loss. Look, positives. Benfica played well. It wasn't exactly that bomb football that we've been accustomed to seeing. We saw that this team has a margin to get much better, and so we took some positives away from that game. But to me, ultimately, it's it's something that it's going to take a little bit of for me to get used to Benfica not being in the Champions League, because it's one of those games that no excuses. And you guys know, listening to me, I get annoyed easily. And to me, there's no excuse for Benfica to drop that game. But you know what? We did. We dropped that game, and so now we just have to get better. We have to make sure that come the future, that this doesn't happen again. I think that this team will only get better under JJ in the coming seasons.
Yeah. So from the UCL to the Europa League, and look, I think the biggest thing is that the Europa League now gives a platform for JJ to build his team. We all know that JJ cycles are 3 year cycles. So the first year um, is pretty good. The second year not so good. The third year is when you really start seeing things. So perhaps the Europa League and at this level is something that allows JJ to really work with this team, get the players acclimated to the style, also get the players the mentality that look, we need to do well in Europe because of the club's stature and reputation. I don't have a problem with the Europa League. Depending how everything goes, and the draw took place this past Friday, and I'll give you the teams. Standard Liège, Glasgow Rangers, Lech Poznan were the teams. So a very accessible group for us, but it also allows us to kind of firm up and really pick up some momentum and go into the later stages.
Look, as we all know, Rome wasn't built in a day. And at the end of the day, it's gonna take some time for JJ to get his team aligned to his thoughts, to his processes, to his tactical, to his tactical knowledge or whatever you want to call it. That being said, this is a competition that I still want Benfica to take very seriously. Yes, I'm still upset we're not in the ultimate competition, which is the Champions League. That's where we belong. But this is an opportunity for some of these guys to gain experience. It's still going to be very demanding games for this team and for these players. And so hopefully they get better and then ultimately concentrate on bringing back the Caneco from the Portuguese league, winning the Liga NOS once again, and just gradually get better and get better. And as long as this team gets better, I don't really have many other expectations aside from that. To be brutally honest with you.
Next up, the Youngster Exodus. So if Brunelage brought a truckload of youngsters into this team, right now what we see is perhaps only two youngsters on this team, not counting Ferro. With the exits of Florentino, Jota, Tomás Tavares, David Tavares, we only got one Tavares left. Gonçalo Ramos made the step up to the A team, and of course, you could think of Ferro, but Ferro's been there for quite some time. So certainly with JJ, you have a coach that believes in veteranship. You got a coach that believes in experience. And certainly when JJ was to return, the biggest thing that a lot of people asked was what's going to happen to all the kids from the Seychelles? Are they still going to get the same opportunities that they got with Rui Vitória and Brunelage? And obviously, look, do you want to win? Do you want to be competitive, or do you want to keep promoting kids from the Seychelles and have a team of extremely experienced players?
Look, Alfredo,
It's a rhetorical
I
question,
think I've
Chris.
said it for years, man. I just want Benfica to win. I don't care if it's youngsters. I don't care if it's old players. I don't care if they're Portuguese. I don't care if they're other nationalities. At the end of the day, all that matters is winning. Obviously, you like to get a return on your investment with all the kids coming out of Seychelles. And I do think Benfica will do that. I'm extremely excited for the fact that Gonçalo Ramos is promoted to this team and he'll be a regular member of the squad now with Vinicius being gone. The only two options on the team are Darwin and Seferovic, who miraculously makes it through through everyone else exiting. He always finds a way to stay on the team, which look, I'm happy. I like Seferovic. But Gonzalo Ramos is here, a youngster. Nun Tavares will also be a part of this squad. You have Florentino, who left on loan to Monaco. You have Jota, who most likely wind up in La Liga somewhere. You have Tomás Tavares, who went to
Almeria.
Almeria. You was it Almeria or Alaves? I think it was Alaves. You also have
It was an Al something,
yeah, it was Al. I think it was Alaves, Almeria. Whatever is Al something. And then you have
David
the other
Tavares,
the other Tavares,
which stayed
which we
which
seen.
Moreirense.
We have a list of Tavares to go down, but we'll just stick with these three. That one went to Moreirense. So, look, youngsters are out. A little bit more seasoned players are coming in, but at the end of the day, Alfredo, let's win. That's to me. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I think that after the seasons that we've had, I think that there's a lot of people out there hungry for the whole compressor and just win, and that's what we've seen so far domestically for Benfica. Lastly, and since we were talking about Seychelles, Ruben Dias exit. So everybody, I think everybody expected Ruben Dias to stay with Benfica and to be our captain throughout his career. As we know, Benfica doesn't necessarily have the financial conditions to be able to provide that to a player, but there was hopes that Ruben Dias would be that one player. And then we got the Champions League elimination, and it all of a sudden now there's all these decisions that need to be made. And certainly Ruben Dias was the guy with the most market on this team. In terms of finances, great deal.
Financially is a great deal, but look, guys, we're all disappointed that Ruben Diaz has left this club. We all expected, not expected, but we all hoped that Ruben Diaz would stay a long time at this club because we've seen the type of leader he is. We've seen that he wears his heart on his sleeve. We've seen him, what he's done with the teams in Seychelles. It's just he's one of those natural born leaders, and we all like to have those guys around. But once Benfica got eliminated by Paok, we all saw the writing on the wall. It was a matter of time. There's two players on this roster who are going to give you anything back immediately, and one of them is Ruben Diaz, the other one being Vinicius. And guess what, guys? The window's not even closed yet, and they're both gone. It sucks, but it's reality. It's the world we live in right now. Hopefully, this team financially changes things around, starts knocking down some more debt, and we're able to hold on to our youngsters in the near future. It's terrible to accept when you saw last year he renewed until 2024, and then a year later he shipped out the door. But that's a conversation for another day. That has to do with the people up top. Us, the fans, at the end of the day, we're the ones that suffer the most because we expect and we hope and we put all our time and effort and our emotions into this one team, and then when we see our loved ones leave, it's as I've said before, a bitter pill to swallow, and it's something that we hope we won't be going through much sooner once this team rights themselves, and we hope that they do that in the near future.
Yeah, and that's all the topics that we have for this episode. Time Added On is a project that's part of Benfica Independent. Benfica Independent is a platform that Benfica Podcast helped form. Please don't forget to check them out. There's several podcasts available on there, articles of opinion. They're also available on Patreon. Go there, support, follow, express your opinion, and anything else that you may want to do that. My name is Alfredo Fumaces,
And I'm Cristiano Oliveira.
and that's all for Time Out of Dawn for this episode. Take care, everyone.
Arrasa.